it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts again. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today is Inspire Create Challenge Day and it's challenge number 8. And it's a sketch challenge and this is the sketch that we have been given. I am going to do something a wee bit different for this challenge in that I'm going to make the card, having not made it, as a video. But I'm also going to show you how I have come up with one of the elements. So I'm using this as this shape. But I want to show you how I did this because it's a fun technique that I've only just come across and I want to share it with you. So I'll pop this to one side. We're going to get messy for a bit. That's why I've got my protective gloves on. So this is using the Brushos. This is using gamboge. So you can see it's quite a different look, but I also did one using the moss green, which I think may be one of my favourite colours. At least I say this was using gamboge. I think it was. It may have been using yellow, but I think it was using gamboge. But this was definitely using moss green. And it's absolutely dry. It's beautiful. It's just, oh, I love it. But I want to share with you how I've done it. And I'm going to do this one because this is the piece that we are going to use. Assuming it was with gamboge, we're going to do that one. So yes, I have, let me just, in fact I know it was gamboge because this is the Prussian blue. I mean, this is just a little test piece I did. This is the brilliant red, and this I think was the yellow. So they do, the colours do are not as vibrant doing this, but I think they are stunning. So start with a piece of Dazzling Diamond glimmer paper. I have got one of our spritzers filled with alcohol. I mark the one that is with alcohol with this copper tape, which is from the Year of Cheer washi tape. It's just that I've got an absolute visual that this is alcohol. There's no point in writing on here in alcohol marker, because if this gets alcohol on it, which it will, because it's got alcohol in it, it will just rub off. How did I learn that? By doing it. So the first thing we are going to do is spray our Dazzling Diamonds with the alcohol. And the smell is quite interesting. And then just introduce some of the crystals. I've just got this push pin in the top and I'm putting quite a lot on, as you can see. And you can already see, particularly if I bring it up to the camera, that it's beginning to spread. And just to help it on its way, just do a bit more alcohol. And the smell is really quite interesting. Do it in a room that is not too enclosed would be my suggestion. I'm just putting a few more of those on so that it can have a bit more of a rummage around. Now, if you don't want the solid bits, I've left the darker pieces, but you can help the colour spread just by dabbing, because it helps break the crystals up a bit. I'm using alcohol. I haven't tried water with this, but the alcohol just, I mean, how can you not love that? So the alcohol just seemed to be the logical way to go, because I wanted it to be a more permanent finish, and I'm just dabbing everything up a bit with some kitchen towel. And this obviously I'm going to have to leave to one side to dry. Some of you know I have underfloor heating in my craft room, so it will sit quite happily on my floor and dry out. So that's an aqua painter doing a topple. So I'm just going to leave that all doing its thing. So I'm going to take the whole of that away and we have a relatively clean work surface. So I can now take these off and worry about those later. So back to our inspiration. I am using some of the retiring papers because they are still available. I'm using the Painted Harvest papers, Painted Autumn. Let's check which it was. Oh, if I had a brain. Painted Autumn papers, because it goes with the Painted Harvest stamp set. So I have got a piece of this paper, which is this pretty kind of leaf pattern. I've got a piece of this cut at 5.5 by 3 3/4 as ever. Measurements in the post below. This is also 3 3/4 across, and it's 1 3/4 inch down. I've got a piece of Peekaboo Peach cut at 2 inches wide, and it's just an arbitrary length because I'm going to use that to mount this on. I've got some of our crinkle seam binding. I have got some Versamark, and I've got gold embossing powder, and I am using one of the vertical greetings, and I'm going to use thank you, and that's just for this. This actually is just to say it's ours, but I quite liked the idea of having something down here to balance out what was over here, so that's why I'm doing that. So, embossing on designer series paper is interesting. You have to be quite careful. It would be a lot more straightforward if I could find my embossing buddy. If you could see the state of my desk, even for me, it's not tidy. And that's saying something. Can I find, there it is. Over the other side of the room. Right, embossing buddy. The reason I say it's a challenge is because it's paper, not card. So let's do the embossing buddy. I want to know where my piece of other paper is. Oh, this is the other side of the acorns. So I want to know where that is. And then a Versamark, my thank you, because I thought it was a good time of year to have some thank yous, because we are after Christmas now. And I'm just going to stamp that, hopefully straight. There. Fingers crossed. Right, get rid of that, clean that up later. Bring in my gold embossing powder, because I would have gone copper, but I think it's not going to stand out enough. And as I'm doing this on the fly, you know, I can see that I over-inked, and I've got powder where I don't want powder. So I'm going to come in with my dry brush and just get rid of that. Tap gently. I don't want to tap so much that I get rid of the embossing powder. So that hopefully is that. I'm going to heat up my heat tool away from everything. So while I'm doing that, because we do need it to be hot, 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 don't forget my paper share, and don't forget my craft box. So if you want a craft box, £20 for just over £20 worth of product, post free, and it's gorgeous. It's the whole lot of lovely sweet. So let's bring in our heat tool. Not convinced by that, not least of all because I've not embossed it terribly well. I don't think that stands out enough. Okay, so we will try plan B, which is to pop a piece of card there. Just not sure I'm going to like it's too dark, too light rather. So I think actually what I'm going to do, oh hey, love it, it's coming together, just need to, there we go. Yes! So this is early espresso. I've got an early espresso matte, so I'm going to do exactly the same thing again, but gold on early espresso. And that hopefully will stand out better without being too in your face. Now it doesn't matter which way I get this because I can cut it down. Just holding it there so that, yes. Okay, so let's try that again. And I seem to just be liking over inking. Right, that's that. Woo, don't put it down the wrong way up. Okay, so let's try that again. This time with this. Okay. That's better. Right, so apart from the fact I have left a bit of ink on the card. So if I get my piercing tool, I don't know if you can see. Can you see? Probably not. Come on, camera. Here. I don't mind about this because I can cut that away, but here. So I'm just going to take my piercing tool and just gently, very gently, just scratch that off. That's better. Right, okay. So am I happier with that? Yes, I think I am, particularly if I come in a bit so that it's more obviously meant to be there. Brilliant. Right, okay. And in fact, can I use, is it going to, would it fit in there? Not enough. No, it wouldn't. Okay, no, that's fine. Not a problem. Right, I'm just thinking ahead of... Ooh, I'm throwing things on the floor. Right, where are we? We're at 12 minutes. This is ridiculous. So let's just cut that down. Okay, because we're nearly there. It doesn't take long from here. Honest, it won't. So I need card base would be useful. This is where I discover I've got no Very Vanilla. Oh, I have one last Very Vanilla card base. And I'm using Very Vanilla because it's Very Vanilla as the neutral. So this is just a piece of A4 cut in half and scored down the middle, as ever. So, fast fuse. And as you... If you've watched me before, you will know I like putting my adhesive down, particularly if it's fast fuse, on what I'm sticking to, because it gives you a chance to just make sure everything is where you want it before you pop it down. And sometimes that helps, not always. So again, that's probably too near the edge. So. Just got away with it. So all the dimensions are on my blog below. So don't worry about not having them in front of you. But as I say, everything is on the blog below. So I only need to put adhesive down the sides and one edge, because I've already got it on the card, and then that needs to line up. There. Then I'm going to take the triple banner punch which is what I used to punch the glimmer paper. This is cut at 2 inches, so it fits nicely into the punch, and just punch. And it then means that I know that that is the same angle. So don't need that bit. So I'll put fast fuse on the back of this. Doesn't particularly like being on the back of glimmer paper that's been soaked in alcohol, but it's okay. I'm going to put a reasonable amount on, and then I'm going to line it up from the bottom up. Now I didn't put glue here, so I can actually get it where I want it, which is about there, and then, oops, and then pop it down, and then just trim off across the top, because I want that not to have the peekaboo peach. Oh, and you know, of course, what I've done. I was going to put the ribbon all the way around there. However, I'm not going to. I'll just put it round here. Don't you love it? Oh, and we've also got to put this down. There are moments when I really do worry about my sanity. So I'm going to use the triple banner punch again to cut the bottom of this. So I'm going to bring it down so I can find the U and then come back up. And then just make sure I'm reasonably straight. Yes! Hurrah! And then I'm hoping I can tuck under there. Yes! So, if that goes there, I need to cut this just there and pop adhesive on the back, and then I want it just in from the edge so that it looks as if I meant to do this. If I put it on the edge, it's going to look as if I kind of didn't really mean to have another chevron, or have another banner rather. Which I didn't mean to have a banner, but only you and I know that. Oh, I like that. Isn't it lovely when things go wrong and you like it? Right, so all I'm going to do with this is now tie this around here in a knot. I'm not going to go for a bow because this is not really a kind of pretty card. So I'm going to do a knot, and then I will adjust where it is on my banner. This is where having that whole third hand would be great. Right, so trim that off. Let's see how I have it there. So I'm going to want my ribbon cut. Because it's the crinkle ribbon, you're never going to get it absolutely perfect. But it's quite nice to at least try to do it something approaching perfect. There we are. So, don't need that. I want this a little bit further up, so if I bend this piece just a little bit, that should give me enough wiggle room to bring it up a bit. Where are we? Good grief, 19 minutes, but I did show you a technique as well. So, come along. It's boring even me. Yeah, I'm going to go all the way to the top. Yep. Okay. Whoops. So, fast fuse on the back, and line that up at the top. Whoa, hey! So there we go. Let's see if I can twist that so that it's vaguely in the right direction. There we go. So that is our challenge. So I hope you enjoyed that. So a bit of a technique as well. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up. Please have a go at the challenge. We're having such fun doing them, and a lot of people are taking part. I say a lot. A number of people are taking part. So it would be great to have a few more people enter. The links are on my blog post, which is below, and then you can just link across to Inspire Create, and there's information about how to take part and linking to the blog post and all that good stuff. And it's the sort of thing that if you take part in challenges and you're looking for people to have a look at your blog, it's quite a good way of getting some traffic to your blog. So maybe worth just bearing that in mind. And I will see you again very soon. I hope you had a great Christmas, and I hope you have a wonderful New Year. Thanks a lot.